Hey, what's going on, guys? Narlord here, and we're back at it again for another This Week at Bungie. This is a long one, so we're going to go ahead and just hop right into it. This week at Bungie, we've got a lot going on. Hello, and welcome to another installment of This Week at Bungie, our weekly source of news and chatter from around the studio. Nothing too wild happened this week, right? Just your normal Monday morning announcement of Bungie joins Sony Interactive Entertainment. Well, okay, that's kind of a big deal. If you haven't heard much about it, well, we've joined Sony Interactive Entertainment. There's a lot to unpack here, and we highly recommend reading through it. So there's going to go ahead and be a little link right here if you want to go ahead and read some more of that, guys. In the realm of Destiny 2, we don't expect you to notice much of a change in your day to day adventures as a Guardian. We aren't going to make Destiny 2 platform exclusive. We're committed to a Destiny that you can play on your platform of choice, and that has the same great game experience regardless of what device you are using. We're going to continue developing amazing new worlds for multiple platforms, and I'm more excited about the potential this unlocks for us. If you haven't read the fact in the update from the dev team, please do. And there's going to be a link right there for you guys if you want to go ahead and check that out. So with that said, what else is going on? Well, it's February for starters. We're less than 3 weeks away from the launch of the Witch Queen. Did you see that we hit over 1 million pre-orders? Did you hear that, Savathun? 1 million Guardians would like a word. We also had a kick-ass gear trailer go live on Tuesday. Have you seen it yet? Well, even if you have, we're going to embed the video right here. So, guys, there's a video to another trailer that launched on Tuesday that's all about exotics and weapon crafting. It is pretty neat. We did a video on this channel, and I'll go ahead and link that up above so you guys can check that out as well. Um, You may have noticed there was a quick little glimpse into weapon crafting at the top of that video. Well, let's take a moment and walk through it. No, not just the video, but crafting as a feature. After, we'll follow the TWAB tradition of digging into the nitty gritty of sandbox balance, patch notes, and the quick preview. Just kidding, this TWAB is already over 6,000 words. Nothing about it is quick. Let's dig in. So let's go ahead and just dive right in here with Welcome to the Enclave. Savathun is building an army of Hive. These aren't just ordinary Hive, mind you. They become the Lucent Brood. How could this happen? What will the Vanguard do as we begin to question the line between light and dark? As you begin to unravel the mystery and battle the Witch Queen's brood, you'll discover the Enclave. This will be your destination for weapon crafting. Crafting a legendary weapon from scratch isn't a simple matter. Finding pattern, thanks weapon blueprints, collecting materials, and building your weapon is the starting point. After crafting your tool of destruction, you'll begin to unlock its full potential through combat. Beginning your quest to craft. Early in the Witch Queen campaign, you'll be given an introductory quest that runs you through the ins and outs of crafting. In the first and second missions of the Witch Queen, free to all players, Guardians will uncover the Deep Sight ability and be introduced to the Enclave. This is where you'll begin to shape your first glaive, a brand new weapon archetype being introduced in the Witch Queen. All of the necessary materials will be provided for your first crafted weapon, but you'll also be given a short tutorial on how to find those materials for future crafting. A subset of weapons and archetypes will be craftable from the start, but more will be added in the future. In order to shape your future tools of destruction, you'll need to do a little bit of research first. Patterns are your first requirement. Some will be acquired through quest completions, while others can be earned by completing various gameplay objectives. Once you've earned your desired pattern, it can be crafted into any time with the required materials. Now it's all about the mixing. All right, guys. So this is super cool stuff here. So we're about to go through all of the crafting, how to craft and all that good stuff. It sounds like you're going to get your first glaive for free, and then you're going to have to grind your little butts off for the remainder of them. After reaching the Enclave and crafting your first glaive, randomly rolled weapons throughout the game will have a chance to drop a new ability, Deep Sight Resonance. This will be used as you begin to target specific traits to craft. As an example, if you find a Deep Sight Resonance legendary auto rifle with the Rampage perk, you can complete an objective and extract the essence of the perk and then craft a weapon with Rampage or another perk that increases damage. So I think what we talked about a couple days ago is basically being able to, uh, essentially, if you find a weapon that's got a random roll on it, can you take a perk off that weapon and then use it to craft another weapon? So it sounds like that's what we're going to be able to do, and that is freaking sweet, if you ask me. So here's some pictures of a Guardian holding a Deep Sight Resonance weapon. You can tell because of the red outlines there. And then this next picture is a Deep Sight Resonance weapon with no progress. And then the next picture here on the screen is a Deep Sight Resonance weapon with full progress. And then you can see the two different weapons there. We've got Forensic Nightmare, which is a 600 round SMG, and then you've got a auto rifle. It's a 360, personal favorite. Pretty excited about that. Like current weapons, not every weapon pattern will be compatible with every trait, but you'll have a good list of traits to mix and match as you customize a given weapon to your desired specification. It doesn't stop there, though. Through the Enclave, you'll be able to kick things up a notch and enhance your traits to strengthen their flavor. Leveling your weapon and enhanced traits. Once a weapon is crafted, Guardians will begin to increase its level by using it in activities and by defeating enemies. This is where the bulk of your crafting playtime will be. The more you use your potential weapon, the faster you unlock its full potential. Enhanced stats and traits can be unlocked when reaching higher levels, granting slight bonuses to your weapon's abilities. This sounds an awful lot like the reason we lost masterworking is because of the crafting that we've got going on here. So as long as it's worth it, I'm all for it. Our goal through this system is to give players a reason to invest in their weapons, far beyond that of masterworking could offer in the past. Each weapon can now act as a long tail pursuit as you make your freshly crafted weapon the best it can be. It can be intimidating to start making decisions on how to build your weapon, so we are also giving the ability to reshape your crafted weapons. In the Enclave, if you want to mix up the components of your weapon after you finish crafting them, you can switch up the barrels, mags, traits you choose so you don't feel like you get locked down. So that's one potential thing that I was worried about was essentially if we were going to have to craft each specific weapon that we wanted, if we wanted to keep it. So thank you, Vault Space, basically there. It sounds like what you can do is you can, level up a weapon, craft it however you want to, and then go back and change it after the fact. And that's a a blessing right there. As Guardians begin to embrace this new system, you'll begin to see new legends rise. Some will prefer Hake, while others may dabble in weapons from Redacted. We're excited to see which weapons you embrace. While the majority of your crafting experience will be dedicated to mixing, matching, and enhancing traits, there's also an opportunity for a bit of customization when it comes to appearances and activity-specific trackers. At launch, one weapon memento will become available for players to earn through Gambit, unlocking a Gambit-themed appearance and tracker. Rank up your weapon to max level, head back to the Enclave, and apply your freshly armed memento for some sweet flair. More of these will come online through the trials of Osiris and Grandmaster Nightfalls. We have more plans for mementos down the line and are excited to introduce new in game rarity cosmetics for players that chase them as they build out their new arsenal weapons. So that's pretty cool. Just one more thing, not pay to win or anything, it sounds like, but just one more thing you can, make yourself stand out with here. Exotic crafting. Legendary weapons aren't the only thing that you'll be able to craft. The upcoming Osteostriga exotic SMG and 3 class unique exotic glaives can also be crafted through the Enclave, once you find their respective patterns, of course. While legendary weapons can be crafted from the ground up, exotic crafting is more about fine tuning something with a defined identity. You may have the opportunity to customize things like barrels or stocks while preserving the exotic look and feel, looking for a longer range profile for the weapon, or opting to shred through enemies up close and personal. The Enclave, you can do just that. All right, folks. We're at the end of our weapons crafting preview. Will you have questions? Undoubtedly. Launch day for the Witch Queen is just around the corner, and we are excited to see what weapons you create. Don't worry, we aren't done with the TWAB just yet. We still have some exciting news regarding weapons to cover. Let's talk tuning. All right, guys. So that's all pretty damn cool, if you ask me. The weapon crafting section. I mean, I'm over the moon excited about it. I can't wait to see what we can craft. Just how in depth we can craft, and then this is going to be kind of the next best thing that really that's in Destiny. The ability to actually grab a weapon, craft it, go back, change it. I'm over the moon excited for this. Tuning up, tuning down, tuning all around. Crafting is going to introduce an entirely new way to invest in a given weapon. When hunting for your new favorites, it's not just about the looks, but about the feels. Weapon feature lead Chris Proctor is on deck to walk through some changes coming to weapons, perks, and archetypes in the Witch Queen. The team has been hard at work for over the last few months to bring this to life, and we're going to have a lot to cover here. All right, if you're new to Destiny, sandboxer aren't too deep in the terminology and know-how. This can be a lot of process at a first glance. While we know a few of our sandbox-minded community members will break this down through YouTube videos and write-ups, there's no shame in skimming this. Sandbox is about feel, and you'll be getting your hands on these changes when the Witch Queen launches. If you're brave enough to take on the challenge of reading this in full, take it slow, grab some water, maybe a little snack too. All right, let's get to it. Take it away, Proctor. From Pinnacle to Pursuit Weapons. When Pinnacle weapons were introduced, they were tuned and presented as being best in class weapons to act as rewards for players dedicated to particular activity. They were excited and motivated players, but they were expensive to build for legendary weapons and had some undesirable side effects, such as PvP Pinnacle weapons becoming mandatory in PvE, looking at you, Recluse and Mountaintop, or becoming incredibly unpleasant to play against, or so strong that no other weapons in the class could compete in PvP, and looking at you, Mountaintop again, and not forgotten. When we moved away from Pinnacle weapons, we didn't go too much into detail, so we'd like to take a moment to clarify the move and also introduce the pursuit weapon for the next season. The intent as of season 12 is that a pursuit weapon should be a solid weapon, roughly 70% of a god roll in its archetype, with perk options that work well in PvP and PvE, and which can be reliably obtained without a huge grind. These should act as a good starter weapon for both PvP and PvE, while leaving space for weapons from pinnacle activities like trials, raids, and nightfalls to exceed the weapon's potential. We generally ship a weapon similar with higher potential in the same season. So, like it says here, Salvage or Salvo basically ignores this guideline. Whoops. But we really wanted to put chain reaction on a special ammo weapon. We didn't currently see it. A reason not to touch it. Chain reaction is going to be rare on special weapons, though. All right, so here is a quick breakdown of how each pursuit weapon since season 12 compares to just random rolled options currently in the game. A Dort is a good sniper rifle, but better sniper rifle shipped alongside it or sense. The Salvage or Salvo Breach Grenade Launcher is a great room clearing weapon, but doesn't have the utility of blinding grenades or auto loading holster. So other legendary grenade launchers such as Truth Teller or Ignition Code have to take its place in the hardest of content. Null Composure is an excellent fusion rifle, and even more so in the season after it shipped and brought back the Reservoir Burst perk, but Plug 1 and Glacioclasm can get Reservoir Burst, and Cartesian Coordinate has better options for DPS. The Ascendancy Rocket Launcher brought back the Explosive Light perk, but Hothead can also get this, and it's a good other perks options as well. And with that, let's look at the Reckless Endangerment Pursuit shotgun. So, guys, this is going to be season 16's, pinnacle weapon here. It's going to be pretty damn cool. Looks like that's a shotgun there. This weapon is coming in season 16 and introduces the new Steady Hand perk for a massive handling boost after a kill, plus Snapshot. There are several other shotguns in the release with more sought after PvP and PvE perks. All right, so shotgun mains and PvP, looking at you. Origin traits. We've been talking about the difficulty of making different weapons of the same type feel unique for years at this point, and in the Witch Queen, we're doing something about it. Every weapon that's new or turning in the Witch Queen will have an origin trait determined by its source in the third trait column, including all new legendary weapons and all returning trials, Iron Banner, and Nightfall weapons. Origin traits will only appear in new drops of a weapon. They won't act retroactively added to old drops. These traits vary in effect, but the guideline is that either have high uptime and medium power effects or low uptime and high power. There are 14 origin traits in total shipping in the Witch Queen and in season 16, and we expect to ship around 3 new ones each season after 16. For example, one for season 17, one for the raid or dungeon, and one for the seasonal event until we have one for each event. When we refresh old weapons from a given source, for example, the old existing raid or old pool of seasonal weapons, we may create a new origin trait at the same time. Here's some examples. Trials of Osiris. Alcrity, am I saying that right? Alcrity. Gain increased reload stability and aim assist and range when you are the last living member of your fire team or running solo. So here you get 20 plus 20 reload, plus 20 stability, plus 10 aim assist, and then plus 10 range. And then solo would include Lost Sectors and Rumble, for example. Nightfall Strikes, stunning recovery. Stunning a champion partially refills your magazine, triggers health regeneration, improves recovery for a short duration, grants 60 health instantly, and plus 40 recovery for 3 seconds. Crucible, one quiet moment, grants increased reload speed when you're out of combat. Plus 40 reload stat when out of combat, and they're saying that out of combat means you haven't taken damage or dealt damage in 4 seconds. Strikes, Vanguard Vindication. Final blows with this weapon grant a small amount of health, and small meaning 7 health. So it's kind of nice that they're actually pointing these out for us. It's kind of what they're saying is small, or what they're saying is, out of combat or in combat. You can use that for other things that are in the game right now too. So, anytime it makes sense due to the source activity, a weapon will have multiple origin traits selectable. For example, Nightfall weapons can select between Nightfall and Vanguard. Trials weapons can select between Trials and Crucible traits, and then Pursuit weapons can select between Gambit, Vanguard, or Crucible traits, since it can be found in either of those activities. One other case. Okay, so see below. So weapon foundries. Guardian, there was something I wanted to tell you. What was it? Banshee scratched his forehead? Oh yeah, guns. I was cleaning out that locker back there. Banshee motions to a dust-caked storage container. Found a couple things you might be interested in. The Exo reaches into a crate next to him and pulls out a glistening Fag 55 sniper rifle. A stack of shiny new Suros weapons manufactured for the Red War, by the looks of them. He peers down the sights of the rifle. Been years since I held a new Suros. Good balance, solid craftsmanship. This is a damn fine work right here. Banshee steers off wistfully, seeming to forget you're there. His eyes snap back to you. What was I going to tell you? Ah, right, guns. Banshee scratches more weapons in mint condition. These are earmarked for Zavala, Drifter, and Shax. Maybe if you're lucky, he'll let you play with them. There's a lot more where that came from. Banshee gestures as a whole stack of crates swimming in a cloud of dust. Hand cannons, pulse rifles, Omelon, Hake, Vice. You're gonna have a ball. All right, guys. So in season 16, we're replacing the old world loot pool with 12 new weapons in the style of Destiny 2 Year 1 Foundry weapon sets. Oh, goody. I'm so excited here for this next part, boys. All right, so year one Foundry sets Suros, Omelon, Hake, and Vice Foundries, plus one Foundry weapon each for Vanguard, Gambit, and Crucible. So pictured here above is weapons you'll find in Legendary Ingrams on February 22nd. Not all are pictured, so we're getting 12 new weapons. You can see right there, there's a couple of Suros, couple of Vice. There's looks like there's an Omelon Pulse Rifle, and then Hake, which is your boy's favorite. Pretty excited for this half Dan if that's coming back. All right, so each weapon will come with a Foundry origin trait themed around that Foundry's personality. So it's kind of cool. Each weapon gets one of these perks here. So Suros has Suros energy. Reloading grants the weapon bonus handling and reduces incoming flinch for a short time. Plus 40 handling, 20% flinch resistance for 6 seconds after reloading. That's going to be actually kind of cool there. Hake is Hake Breach Armaments. This weapon deals increased damage against vehicles, turrets, barricades, and stasis crystals. All right, so turrets would include the stasis turret. You get plus 15% to vehicles, 30% to structures and turrets. Omelon is Omelon Fluid Dynamics. This weapon has increased reload speed and stability for the top half of the magazine. Stability max plus 20, reload max plus 30, reduces the magazine, gets lower. Okay, so and then Vice is Vice Stinger. Chance on damage to partially refill this weapon's magazine. In addition to the Foundry origin trait, each Foundry weapon perk pools lean into that Foundry's identity. Big damage for Hake, consistency for Suros, ability tie-ins, and weird stuff for Omelon. Never stop firing for Vice. Okay, that sounds about right. And in the picture below, probably the picture that got me most excited today is the upcoming shotgun, hand cannon, and a new auto rifle there. That auto rifle looks an awful lot like the Half Dan D. Sounds like they're going to be calling it the Herald C, though. But shit, if I can get anything close to that Half Dan back, I will be over the moon excited about that. I'll never touch another gun. I'll be honest. I'm gonna say it right here. I will never touch another gun. All right, Foundry weapons that drop from a source aside from the world pool can switch between a Foundry trait and that source's trait. That doesn't imply the Foundry weapons will be common outside the world pool. For example, a roll on the new Gambit Hake high impact auto rifle, Herod C, might look like this: corkscrew rifling or polygonal rifling, armor piercing rounds, flared magwell, perpetual motion, focus fire, invader tracker, Hake breach armaments, kill tracker, and a range masterwork. We know we haven't brought back all of your favorite Foundry weapon types, but don't worry, you can expect to see each weapon Foundry receive new additions each season for the following year, following the Witch Queen, with some fun surprises thrown in later in the year. Global. All right, this is where some fun begins. The rest of the section will be more of a patch notes preview feel. Lots of bullets, not a lot of pictures. Still have a snack and water handy. Feel free to take a moment and get a refill. All right, so kill trackers were once one reason to masterwork weapon, but we now see no reason to gate these behind masterworking. They'll be present by default on all weapons. Woo! All right, pretty excited about that. They'll be present on all weapons defaulted that shipped in Forsaken and later. Exotic weapons prior to Forsaken will be updated in a future release. Yes, this means masterworking should no longer be seen as mandatory, as we expect the plus 10 to weapon stat or plus 10 to primary stat plus to other stats for adepts to only matter to dedicated PvP players. We have no specific plans for changes to masterworking at this stage, but we will revisit it later. Note that we did get discuss gating the origin trait behind masterworking, but ultimately this wouldn't have achieved the gold weapon differentiation for non-masterwork weapons. Following the Arbor team's footsteps, weapon mods for legendary weapons are now free and instant to insert. Okay, that's a big one. We believe that many pain points around special weapons in Crucible are exacerbated by how easy it is currently to acquire special ammo. And while we've touched on this in the past, we're making a further adjustment now. Okay, so here you go, shotgunners. Players now only drop one special ammo on death or equivalent, no matter how much they were carrying, as long as they weren't completely empty. The maximum you can pick up off a special brick is one for a sniper rifle, shotgun, or fusion rifle here, or equivalent to other weapons. Scavenger mods add to that as normal though, so scavenger mods work. But we will be evaluating this in Crucible in the future. Players quickly found another way to execute the quick swap glitch, so we went ahead and fixed that as well. Archetypes. In Season 15, Fusion Rifle Reworked had a lot of moving parts. Rapid fire, precisions, and adept fusions came out of this different, but all quite strong. But high impact fusions are hurting. We definitely seen all the fusion rifle subfamilies occupy different roles and what to maintain the large differences in charge times. We kept these distinct for now, so we're nudging damage up to make it easier for these to land kills at range in PvP. Okay, so now you're gonna be able to map people with high impact fusion rifles again. It looks like. That said, we'll keep an eye on how they're doing and may adjust charge time down a smidge in the future release. So they went ahead and increased high impact fusion rifle damage per bolt from 62 to 64. They're saying right here it doesn't seem like that's a lot, but trust me, that is a lot, especially when it comes to damage fall off. And then they increased high impact fusion rifle PvE damage bonuses from 15% to 20%. We like that the crowd control capabilities of breach grenade launchers and PvE has taken off, but as it stands, there isn't a meaningful trade-off for that added utility that blinding or concussive grenades give you. And this is unreasonable. That a way to really annoy other players in PvP can also one-shot them. So, yeah, I can tell you right now, I use grenade launchers in PvP quite a lot. So they reduced blinding and concussion grenade damage by 25%. They didn't say in PvP or PvE there, so I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's both. But as long as blinding works, that's all that matters to me. Rocket launcher subfamilies have lacked meaningful differences for a while now, and their free tracking precisions are flat out better. So we're pushing them further apart by adjusting damage. We may take a deeper look at rocket launchers later. Okay, so damage adjustment by subfamily here for rocket launchers. Precisions are at 0.95%. High impact looks like it wasn't changed. Adaptive got 1.05 times, and aggressive also got 1.05 times. We took a big swing at sniper rifle aim assist based on zoom and beyond light, and having seen this play out, are revisiting the tuning for the zoom based AA scaler auto aim. Low zoom snipers get more of an aim assist. I don't know why I said auto aim there. Aim assist reduction than they needed. A high zoom snipers are getting some pretty silly headshots right now. Reduced variance in aim assist scaling between low 35 zoom and high zoom 60 zoom sniper rifles. The cone angle scaler increased by 25% on low zoom, reduced by 9% on high zoom. So I don't really dig in super deep on a lot of this stuff because honestly, I just don't know it better than a lot of other YouTubers out there. So I recommend looking at Fallout Plays. Him or Cool Guy will probably have videos up explaining the differences and all this good stuff. But yeah, check out their videos. I can go and link them down in the description. Pulse rifles take slightly too long to kill red bar enemies in PvE, so we're buffing their damage versus miners by 10%. Okay, all right, that's kind of cool. If you want exotic pulse rifles to feel better at this, oh boy, keep reading. Okay, so pulse rifles got a little minor buff by 10%. Kind of cool. Exotic weapons. So exotic primary weapons and trace rifles aren't sufficiently stronger than legendaries for them to be worth bringing into hard PvE content, particularly against miners. Note this change applies to all exotics that use primary ammo and includes most secondary effects perks triggered by explosions. So increased damage versus miners and PvE by 40%. Good God, Polaris Lance is about to be an absolute beast out there. Can you just imagine a 150 RPM, just one, just one tapping enemies out there, and also that explosion got an increase of 40% too, and the burn damage? My God. Chaperone is a terror in PvP, particularly with the nerf to pellet shotguns and the reduced frequency of grenades and melee abilities, and it outperforms some weapons that ought to be good counters to it. For example, sidearms, submachine guns. So, reduce passive range buff from 2 meters to 5 meter to 0.5 meters. Duality is in a similar place to Chaperone, but it's not quite as rangy. On the other hand, its exotic trait shipped with a constraint that it would wipe on a reload to make it harder to chain. Having seen it in action for a while now, we don't think the limitation needs to be there. Reduced passive range buff in slug mode, i.e., when aiming down sights, from 1.25 meters to 0.5 meters. Pellet mode is unaffected. The on Black Wings damage buff no longer clears on reload. Terrabuzz is extremely strong as it is, but it currently demands complete commitment. With no weapon switching. This constraint is a bit harsher than it needs to be, so we've loosened it without removing it entirely. Also, all the duration extension when damaging players did actually function in PvP. It was so subtle that players kept reporting that it was bugged, so we bumped them up. So Terrabuzz now reduces perk progress by half instead of clearing it on weapon stow, and then increased Ravenous Beast duration increases for damaging and let's try that one more time. Increased Ravenous Beast duration increases for damaging a player slightly. Okay. Ruinous Effigy here has been overdue for a look at its Beyond Light nerf, the nerf to damage dealt while guarding. So we're rolling that back. Note that other part of that nerf was to the airborne standard melee attack, and this hasn't been touched. So they went ahead and increased the damage dealt by Guardian with a Transmutation Sphere by 66%, and then 30% in PvP, it looks like. The Transmutation Sphere multi-kills now count on Orb Generation armor mods. Previously, only kills with the beam would trigger this. Okay, kind of cool. All right, Lumina's getting a little bit of love here. So Lumina stats just don't compare with other 140 RPM adaptive hand cannons, and its usage reflects that. So we're updating these alongside some of the legendary hand cannons that also used to be 150 RPMs. Increase the range stat from 44 to 59. Sheesh. Increased base stability stat from 46 to 56. Damn. And then they're saying here, sorry, Thorn fans. Thorn is already strong and popular, and a similar buff would turn this thing into a monster. So sorry, Thorn guys. Aegir Scepter initially implementation used super regeneration scalars, which had a very weird effect in activities that also had scalars. So we have rebuilt it to turn off regeneration while active and have implemented a slower drain using a different method. Fix being able to activate or continue using empowered mod while suppressed or stasis encased. All right, and then rebuilt the perk used to modify supercharge rate, now freezes super recharge and deducts super directly, fixing several issues with activities that change charge rate and outliers for recharge based on intellect stat. Okay. Super should now drain more slowly while empowered. All right. Dead Man's Tale feels good to us on both mouse and keyboard and controller now, and we don't want to go back to the feeling unreliable, but it's far too good at spamming hipfire shots at long range as it stands. So they went ahead and reduced the catalyst hipfire rate of fire from 150 to 130. So it just about hits 120 territory now. So that'll be interesting to see how that feels. I think it'll still be good next season, but just maybe not as good. I'm still counting on Polaris. Lawrence Driver and Arbalest remain fairly hard to counter in PvP. One common complaint is how easily they can shoot through flinch. So we'll be keeping an eye on these changes moving forward and have a change planned if needed. So they went ahead and increased flinch received. So hopefully they won't be able to just dome people while they're getting shot at. And then Forerunner's ammo economy was fairly conservative when we shipped 30th anniversary, but seeing how it's used in PvP, we believe it would benefit from gaining a little more ammo per brick. So increase special ammo pickup from a special ammo brick from 2 to 3 and 4 to 5 with the scavenger mod. So that's kind of cool. I know that the Forerunner is a damn good sidearm, and I know that thing has been wreaking havoc in trials. So, legendary weapons. Several legendary weapons have out of band stats, either to their benefit, detriment, or both, or a bit of both here. So, when infusion caps were still around, this was okay because they'd cycle out eventually, but now the weapons remain viable in all activities indefinitely, and the solution is to adjust outliers to be in band, as mentioned in the 2021 State of the Game. So, hand cannons. The band for legendary at 140 RPM hand cannons aim assist ends at 84, and this extreme should be hand cannon for a pinnacle activity like a raid or trials. But when 150s were converted to 140s, many of their stats were either too low or too high. So we're adjusting the stats of these to be within the standard ranges, up or down as follows, and overall buff in most cases. So Dire Promise, +4 range, +3 stability, -3 aim assist. Waking Vigil, +6 range, +5 stability, -3 aim assist. Jack, Queen, King, +3 range, 3 stability, -8 aim assist, and then Spare Rations is 4 range, 4 stability, and -9 aim assist. Fellwinter's Lie. Intrinsic perk makes it far too consistent and lethal compared to similar shotguns, and it's had plenty of time to shine, so they're giving it a +15 spread angle, so you're maybe not going to be able to get quite as serious as far as those one taps from so far away. And then most of Ikelos' SMG stats are wildly out of band for an aggressive SMG, but it does suffer from having a low zoom compared to other popular ranges. So they gave it +1 zoom and then took away 5 range, 7 stability, 8 handling, and then 5 aim assist. And that's unfortunate because I absolutely love that gun. And they just hit it with a nice little nerf right there. So I'll have to try mine after the 22nd, see if it's still viable. Okay, so typically we don't adjust base stats on specific weapons at all post ship, so we don't intend to do this regularly. So all right, so perks. We want players to be able to choose building into hip firing more easily. So we're adjusting the hip fire grip perk to support this. Now increases damage fall off start and end distances by 20%, except on shotgun, sniper rifle, and fusion rifle. Adagio often felt like it changed a weapon's subfamily to the next lowest rate of fire, but worse, particularly when comparing damage fall off. So they increased the damage of Adagio from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. They increased damage bonuses, except on bows and fusion rifles, from 25 to 30%. It adds plus 10 range and add a timer buff next to the text so it's easier to tell when it expires. So that's actually kind of nice. Dual loader. So they're changing dual loader here. They went ahead and reduced the stat penalty for this for the speed from 50 to 35. Dual loader is probably the worst stat or perk in the whole game, and I mean, I don't know if that'll fix it or not, but it was dumb that they even added it. I think it's just terrible. I'd rather just get at least one shot loaded it quickly than have to wait for two. Danger zone felt pretty risky to use in some cases, resulting in a lot of self damage. Reduced self damage scalar for grenade launchers combined with the other scalars in this end and reducing self damage from 1.25 to 0.75 times. Tap the trigger is the meta breaking perk on a particular fusion rifle. When stacked with other elements of this role, it makes fusion rifles much too stable. So much that it stopped putting we stopped putting it on fusion rifles, and the squid face sold it a few times. With this change, we believe it's still quite a strong perk without being overpowered. So it's likely to appear on future fusion rifles. No, we did try reducing stability from 40 to plus 20, but in playtest the difference wasn't perceivable. Okay, so on fusion rifles only, reduced stability bonus from plus 40 to plus 10. Change max recoil angle from zero point 0.5 to 0.875, and then changed error angle scale from zero point 0.9 to 0.975. Unchanged on all other weapons. Headseeker didn't work as intended on aggressive burst pulse rifles because the buff's duration was too short. Sacred Providence is the only viable pulse rifle that benefits from this in Season 16. Although there is such a pulse in the season, it doesn't roll with Headseeker. So, but expect to see more in future seasons. Extended buff duration from 0.17 to zero point 0.3 seconds. Okay. Let's talk about Eager Edge. It's a lot of fun to use, but it can be used to do some mind blowing, environment breaking things if used in a particular ways while airborne. While the tuning below isn't meant to remove the fun factor, we have a fresh raid and another fun content coming with the Witch Queen, and we want to ensure we retain challenge behind our upcoming rewards. All right, so breaking out of the map can be fun indeed, but we can easily remove the prestige and value of a given item or experience. So they went ahead and reduced the lunge distance benefit while airborne by 25%, and it's now caps maximum player airborne velocity to a fairly high value while active. They didn't tell us the value here, but I'm assuming it's still pretty high. Occasionally, we'll shelve perks because they're not working for some reason, too strong or too weak. This means we won't put them on weapons in the future unless we change the perk. In many cases, we'd rather put design work into new perks than old ones, but there's a whole perk section here. Anyway, these perks are shelved. Some have been shelved for a while. So we've got Bottom's Grief and Celerity. Both were attempts to inject some uniqueness into Trials of Osiris and Nightfall weapons, which we're now doing with Origin traits instead. So, Underdog, good. No one uses that. Shield Disorient, great. And then also Air Assault. The near future. So in Season 17, we'll have a set of PvP focused weapon changes, including new ways for players to build for flinch resistance, balanced tuning for primary weapons, looking at U-pulse rifles, lightweights in particular. Ooh, okay, that could be interesting. Special weapon tuning, snapshot, feeling mandatory in sniper rifles and PvP, other balance changes, another PvP special ammo economy change if needed, and then adjusting how zoom outliers, both low and high, affect the performances of a subset of weapons, i.e., the scope column shouldn't be the most important thing on a weapon. We could take various forms from this intent, but the intent is to bring both high and low outliers towards the average to the overall benefit of the weapon archetype. But also adjusting several much requested exotics along with legendary perks. All right, so kind of cool. So cheers to Proctor and the team for that massive info dump. We'll have a full roundup of patch notes on February 22nd. When the Witch Queen goes live, go ahead and stay tuned. So sounds like we went through that pretty quick here. They are changing quite a lot of stuff, it sounds like, and I couldn't be more excited. All right, Year of the Tiger. So we've covered what's coming to Destiny with the Witch Queen in Season 16 and beyond. What's going on right now? Well, we have a celebration for the Lunar New Year. Some of you may have already noticed, but Eververse has been filled with some wonderful new items. So there's a list of some new stuff. You've got a new ghost shell, a new emote, a new sparrow, and then also a new ship. And these items will be available through next Tuesday at reset. So get them while you can. Prepare to launch a worm. This TWAB is long, but the train isn't stopping yet. Our Destiny player support team has some information, some important information. So keep on reading. This is a report: pre-launch downtime and preload. So just to give you guys, I'm having to go through all this. Essentially, they're going to be going down for 14 hours, and then you can preload it on February 21st at 9 a.m. The Shattered Realm here, with the end of the season approaching, the Shattered Realm seasonal activity has been updated for a daily rotation from a weekly rotation. Players who wish to complete these triumphs and steals associated with the Shattered Realm should make sure to do so prior to its removal with the launch of the Witch Queen on February 22nd. GM Nightfall catch-up node clarification. So I guess here it's, I guess in one of the login messages, it incorrectly indicated that the Grandmaster Nightfall catch-up node had just become active, and that is false. Year 4 content vaulting. The launch of the Witch Queen on February 22nd. Certain activities, quests, destinations, and items from season 12 to 15 and Forsaken will become unavailable to access. For a full list of vaulted and um, deprecated content, please see our guides below. All right, you guys can go ahead and click on those two links if you would like to. Weapon cycling. So these weapons are going away, so make sure you get them while you can. From Trials of Osiris, the Igneous Hammer, Solus Scar. From Nightfalls, the Swarm, Shadow Price, Uzumi RR4, and then the Hung Jury. And then from Iron Banner, the Multi-Match CCX, Time Worn Spire, Gilding Light, and then Steady Hand. Players should make sure to claim, get them while you can. All right, couple known issues. Investigating various known issues. Here's a list of the latest issues we have reported. So, weapons do not successfully attach Phoenix Protocol when stowed. For a full list of emergent issues in Destiny 2, players can review our known issues article. Players who observe their other issues should report them to our help forum. All right, guys. So, RAR, here you've got some movies of the week. You've got movie of the week here called Saints Had Enough. And a couple more things. Then it looks like you've got some artists going on here. So you've got interesting art off Twitter. Kind of interesting. Looks like I can't think of her name right off the top of my head. Oh, Petrovenge. Looks like she's got a couple of lightsabers on her. Looks kind of cool. All right. And then let's see here. Witch Queen PvP in a nutshell. All right. All right, boys. So, well, you've made it. Once again, a mega TWAB has landed, and you've read every word of it. Maybe almost every word. I know some of you skipped the outros. Between now and launch, we have a few more little things to cover in TWABs, but we aren't expecting anything as long as this edition. The next few weeks will be your opportunity to rest up before the launch of the next expansion, get some sleep, eat well, maybe even soak in some sunlight if the weather permits. Of course, you're going to maintain a healthy lifestyle after February 22nd, right? There won't be any moments where you think, I'll do the dishes later, or I guess I can take out the trash out next week while leveling up your brand new, freshly crafted weapons. And then on a final somber note, before we go, we'd like to take a moment to honor one of our moderators. We received a tragic news over the weekend that Seraphim Crypto, one of our German community volunteers, passed away. Words are incredibly difficult to find here. Seraphim has been among the Destiny community since the start, pitching in to help anyone who needed an assist or simply sitting back and relaxing among the forums as we pass the time. We'd met him in person on his own home turf while visiting Germany for Gamescom, and even had him come out to Seattle to help us with the community summit. Every exchange was positive, inspiring, and heartfelt. His love for his community was immeasurable. You could tell with every exchange how wonderful, unique, and passionate he was, and how much of an inspiration he could be, not only to us at Bungie, but to players of our worldwide community. Thank you, everything, Seraphim. You are loved, you are missed. We hope you are able to rest well, and we are sending you love to your family. Much love, DMG. All right, boys. So that is it for the TWAB. 6,000 words. My voice is going. Pretty excited about it. We talked a little bit about the weapon crafting, talked about new guns. Herod C. I'm excited. I'm going to grab that thing as soon as I possibly can. Make sure if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like, and then drop a subscription if you can. That'd be super dope. Thumbs up. Also, I'm going to be live on Twitch every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday at twitch.tv/iNarlord. I'm going to go ahead and drop the links down in the description below. And then other than that, boys, you have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.